Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Plymouth Community School Board for April 17, 2018. If you'll join us in the pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first agenda item is to set the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
Yes, we have some additions in the consent agenda. Resignation was added, appointment was added, a couple of student activity requests, and a couple of additional fundraiser requests. And then the business agenda, we took one item and needed to turn it into two, and that was with respect to considering the bids for the Lincoln Junior High project. So that's become considering proof of publication and contract bids for Lincoln project, and then adopting the resolution signing the construction bids.
With those changes, I entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you all for coming. Are there any agenda items anyone would like to speak to this evening? If not, we'll have another opportunity near the end of the agenda, but again, thank you for coming. Section 2 is our focus on learning. Tonight we have the Widener School of Inquiry.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have Mr. Delp and Mrs. Felke along with some students and talking about some of their successes and maybe some of their unique paths to get there. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, good evening. I want to thank everybody for having us here and the opportunity to share. This is going to be WSI's third graduation class. It's hard to believe. It's been a great journey that some of us have been blessed to be a part of for all those years, but we're excited about this class. So in the past, with the focus on inclusion, we've tried to maybe highlight a project or a learning opportunity that's been really impactful. We went a little bit different route this year, and we decided to, the fruits of the labor kind of approach. We're going to highlight some seniors that are at the end of their journey. At the beginning, yes, end of this journey and moving on to the next. That's very, very good. But we're excited to let them kind of share some of their successes and their experiences. Plymouth High School has been emphasizing an importance of the pursuit of a graduation plan that is aligned both with their student interests and the workforce. This has become even more important just with the recent passing of some legislation that is going to kind of require us to do this even at a greater level. If I'm being honest, we feel like we're ahead of the curve right now. We've got a lot of pieces in place, thanks to a lot of hard work by a lot of people, but we're going to, like I said, kind of share the three seniors and actually one graduate today and let them kind of explain how some of the pieces that we've done through WSOI and PHS and also the CTE programs that they chose to be a part of. Before we turn it over to them, I would like to thank the parents of these young people for being here. If you wouldn't mind raising your hand if you're a parent of one of the kiddos here. We thank them for trusting us, number one, but also being a support and being there for their kids, and they're going to get to see, like I said, the fruit of kind of all their hard work. We also want to highlight some of the CTE teachers. I don't know if any of those are here, any of the CTE, and give them a round of applause, please. Not all of them, some of them said they could or could not be, but some of these great CTE teachers that have been very helpful in kind of sparking that passion or taking it to the next level, and we're grateful for them. We also want to highlight some of our workforce partners, Mr. Gary Neidig and Sue Mark. So, but Mr. Neidig is here from ICAMCO. I'll give him a round of applause. Instrumental in partnering with Plymouth High School and PCSC in a lot of different ways. They continue to do that. You'll hear about that partnership with Christina here in just a few minutes. And just some really great stuff that's happening there. I also want to highlight Ivy Tech. There's no one here from Ivy Tech, but their partnership with our kids has been great over the last few years. They're not only saving our kids thousands of dollars, but also saving them time in the classroom and letting them get into their career paths even quicker. And so we're grateful for that. You'll get to hear that in one of our recent graduates and his journey. So I think you're going to hear a recurring theme throughout these short testimonials. And as some of us in education know, and maybe in life in general, it's all about relationships, right? And thankfully, we have some of our teachers here. I want to highlight a few of them. They would raise their hands, please, from WSY. They came to here. These teachers are great at building those relationships, and that fuels these discussions, get kids in, they take their experiences, and gets them started down some of these paths, or have those conversations. And so I think you'll hear that recurring theme. So we're thankful for this web of support for our young people. This web continues to grow even outside the walls of PHS and WSOI, and that's what we love about what we're doing, is we feel like it's growing out in our community more and more, and that's what needs to happen. And so with that being said, I want to introduce our first student. This is going to have Jenny Moncada come up, and she's going to share her journey. So welcome, Jenny.
Well, hi, hello, my name is Jennifer Moncada. I am a senior this year in WSY. I have been in WSY for the past 4 years, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, and I can definitely say that it has been one of the greatest moments and experiences I have. I have definitely grown a lot being in WSY, coming from freshman year to senior year. A big difference, big growth, and I'm just so honored and so happy that I have been that I chose to be in WSY. One of those reasons why I'm really grateful to be in that is a one-on-one interaction. WSY has shown me that not necessarily the teachers and students, it's just a teacher and student relationship. It's more of a friendship relationship. So I can definitely say that I have a really, really well and healthy relationship that I have with my facilitators. It's my own progress, so it's not like I have a deadline that I have to get certain tasks done. It's more of I will help you until you get to that point that you need to get there. And I have been really happy with that experience that I have had with most of my teachers. I also want to say that this CTE program has helped me so much with my career that I have. I'm currently taking beauty school. I'm in cosmetology CTE, and Vogue has inspired me and helped me so much with the career that I'm willing to take. And there's plenty of students in Vogue that have said, oh, I wish that high school would have given me that opportunity to meet. There's adults already just starting right now some courses, and they're looking at me like, wow, you're have this big opportunity right now that you're in high school taking this course. So I feel like I'm really happy that I've gotten this opportunity to take what I've always wanted to do since I was little. Also want to talk about the Go Center. The Go Center has also helped me a lot. I believe that the Go Center has been for 2 years. The first year. Yeah. Yeah. This is the first year that we've had the Go Center, which the Go Center is basically where you go to when you have questions. So it helps you with your careers, it helps you with scholarships, it helps you with what you're trying to do. And Miss Flynn has been the best helper out there for the Go Center. She's always on top of students. She's always helping students out whenever they need. And she has also always been hey Jenny, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's it's the best thing that facilitator can do to you, because sometimes, especially during senior year, you're slowing down and you just want to graduate, and Miss Flynn has always helped me throughout this whole senior year. And it gets to me to my last point where 2 teachers that have helped me throughout this whole 4 years would be obviously Miss Flynn. She has always believed in me and has never stopped me believing in me, and she has always been a great person to have, just to, if you have any questions, listen, stuff about the career stuff, and I'm just so happy that she has always pushed me to where I know that she knows that I can do that. She's always telling me that I know that you can always do better, and she's always helping me to get to that point, and so I'm grateful for that. And I also am grateful for Mr. Nordman. He has helped me since my freshman year. He has always been my support since freshman year. And I'm just grateful that I have this opportunity to have with different facilitators and just helping me throughout the journey that I'm willing to continuing practice. Thank you.
You can see Jenny just came from the vocational class and she's doing all that calculation. We're glad to have her here. And Mr. Nordman, if you didn't know, can join us this evening.
I saw I ran the marathon.
He not only ran the Boston Marathon yesterday in 3.5 hours, he decided to hop in a car and get back to school in the morning. So he drove back and was here by 9:30 this morning. And, he thankfully took a shower. But he was here. He said he would have made it by 8 o'clock, but there was some bad weather in Pennsylvania. So Mr. Nolan kind of showed his dedication. I know he had track practice, but I think he was finding his bed pretty quickly tonight. So our next student is Rodney Sly, and Rodney was really excited about being here. He had kind of prepared his speech and told us what he was wearing, and then he let us know that he wasn't going to be able to make it this evening. So thankfully I have that here. I do want to share what he wrote because he highlights some people that I think need to be publicly appreciated. And so if you don't mind, I'd like to go ahead and kind of share Rodney's journey. And so I'm going to read that, what he had prepared. Okay? Coming into WSOI as a freshman, I was really nervous and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Most of my friends were in traditional school, and they'd always ask me, why the PBL environment? I've never really been comfortable getting up in front of a class, and that's what pushed me to be in WSOI, to get involved and to get over my fear of public speaking. Along the way, I've had a relationship with some great teachers. I've been in groups with some awesome students, and then I probably would have never talked to had I not been in a group with them. My favorite thing about WSOI is that we don't just take notes or do all this homework just to pass a test. Not everyone can learn just by reading a book and testing over it. I'm a hands-on learner. I like to jump in, get started, figure out what I need to do, and figure out the rest along the way. In WSI, we're given a project, and we have to use our resources, and we have to problem solve and complete whatever the project is. All of my teachers have really been great at giving everyone the opportunity to say what's on their mind. They're great at motivating their students to put their best foot forward. Well, when I'm listing all the teachers that have had an impact on me, I'd be here all night. But when it comes to math, I've always enjoyed that subject. But I've never really had a teacher that inspired me like Miss Moore. Miss Moore had a huge impact. She always did her best to make sure all of her students were understanding understanding content. If they weren't, she would go one-on-one or do small groups until everyone got it. That's a characteristic of a lot of my favorite teachers that I've had. They give their all to their students, even if it means staying after classes and making sure no one's left behind. But it's not just the teachers that make WSOI great. Mr. Fishback, Mrs. Felke, and Mr. Delpa are hard at work every day. Mr. Fishback does a great job of helping every student get into the classes that fit in their career pathway. On a daily basis, you'll find Mrs. Felke and Mr. Delp having, with busy schedules, but still find time in their day to meet with students and check in to see how their classes are going, or just to see how you're doing in general. The biggest thing you can ask as a student is to have teachers that truly care about your education. And that's what WSOI is. A place where education is not just a piece of paper, but it's the beginning of your future. Before I wrap this up, I want to speak about the vocational class briefly. If you don't want to go to college or aren't sure what you want to do, this is one of the best ways to get your foot in the door and find out what's right for you. I've always liked building things and working with my hands, but if I wouldn't have taken building trades, I would have most likely went in a complete different direction. My freshman year, I was all about engineering, and I thought that's what I wanted to be. But here I am today in my senior year going in a totally different direction. It's awesome to get to know a man as smart as Mr. Schoaf and to slowly gain from some of the knowledge that he has. There's so many things that I've learned this year from him that I wouldn't have if I hadn't taken this class. From framing a house to shingling a roof, there's so many great vocational classes and internships that are out there for you. And it's all up to you to figure out what's right for you. A little note on Rodney. Rodney is one that I think he would stand here with me and say we've had numerous talks about numerous topics. Some of those might have been discipline related at times. But I remember sitting with Rodney and kind of sharing some of these content. Like he said, I'm a hands-on guy. I need to get something. And so we did talk about vocational vocationally, what course might fit in best for him, and he kind of latched on to that, and I remember him coming back and saying, that was huge. I'm not sure, I'm not sure where I would be right now had it not been for plugging into the building trades program. And so really excited to see what his future brings. And really grateful that he was able to share that with us. So final student here at PHS before we highlight a graduate. Christina Olvera is going to share with her experience with ITAMCO and the CNC programs. Christina.
Hello, I'm Christina Olvera. I am a student at WSOI, and I'm a participant in the Precision Machining vocational course. Unlike most students, I transferred to Columbus, Indiana, the winter of my junior year, and from southern Texas. During my transition here, something that helped me integrate within the student body and the school life itself was the interpersonal relationships and the connectivity I had with not only my fellow students, but with the school staff as well. Precision machining is the procedure of removing material from wood, metal, plastic, and any other medium using, precision. So this is done and can be done to make almost anything and everything, from automotive parts to medical equipment. Out of the 12 students enrolled with me at the start of my year within my vocational course, I am and was the only girl. It was challenging at first, and at times still is, but with time I grew to have confidence in my work and not be so afraid in terms to learn and trying new things. This class not only teaches me the information needed to machine, it also teaches me the information and skills on how to behave under employment. The work ethics you learn in a vocational program like mine will teach a person skills that they don't need not only to hold a job today, but also to hold a job whenever they're holding it throughout their lifetime. Problem solving, working well with others, and responsibility are emphasized more in this type of program. It is this skills that will help me and other students to do a steady job. This program has led me to my internship at ITAMCO, Indiana's technology and manufacturing company, who are one of the most remarkable gear shops in the world. It is there that I am able to utilize their state-of-the-art equipment and advanced knowledge to practice things that I am not able to in my regular class. My internship allows me to see what the workforce is actually like. I meet new people and I am introduced to new concepts, and it is due to opportunities like that I was offered a position to continue working at ITAMCO. As a result of my experience, I plan on pursuing this technical skill into a higher level of education. I plan on enrolling into either Ivy Tech or UTRGV, University of Rio Grande Valley in southern Texas. WSOI has many useful resources. One of those resources are the staff who make my success possible. So I would like to highlight those who prove to be especially helpful to me, including those who are not just from Plymouth High. Co-director of Widener School of Inquiry, Mr. Michael Delp, and Mrs. Jennifer Felke, who introduced me to this course and has gone above and beyond to make things work. The coordinator of College and Career Center, Mrs. Kelsey Flynn, for helping me plan out my future and on how to pursue this course. My vocational teacher, Mr. Scott Kaser, for being patient with me and kind enough to recommend this field of work as not just any other job. My math teacher, Mrs. Moore, for providing a vital foundation on understanding complicated math concepts needed in this field. Mr. Mark and Gary Neidig for the partnership they have with Plymouth High School and the internship that I have been a part of. And Tracy Thomas, my mentor, and my close associate at ITAMCO.
I'm going to tell you a story about Christina. Last spring,
when we took, a lot of times in the spring, we want to fill our vocational courses. And so I went up to her physics class one day and I said, I'm going to take a bunch of you across the street to precision machining. I want you to see how it could connect to what you're doing in physics. And so Christina was one of these students. I don't think I made you all go. I gave you a choice, didn't I? Okay. So she did. Sometimes I make them go, but she came with me on a bright sunny day, probably in April or May, and I took her across. And before I knew it, she'd enrolled in precision machining for this school year. And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. We need more female brains in STEM areas. And I will never forget, it was probably August or September. Do you remember this day? Christine came up to me. She said, Mrs. Felke, she said, I'm the only girl in precision machining. And I said, I know. Isn't that fantastic? And so here she is almost a whole year later. It has been a leader over there. I wish Mr. Kaiser is not here, but he said she has been a quiet, soft-spoken leader. And I believe that recommendation and leadership led her to ITAMCO, and she's been there, I think, since mid to late January. And I know that should she decide to take this, if she were to stay, she's been offered a full-time job after graduation. So it's been a great journey for her, and we hope to encourage more students, boys and girls, to pursue that. So I wanted to share that because I think you were maybe a little frustrated with me in September or August, and now it all works out. So our very last student we would like to highlight tonight is a 2017 grad, and his name is Dylan O'Brien, and he has a fantastic story. He is a young man who would walk a very great length to go to a job to earn money to support his family during high school. He's very bright, very good student, and when we learned that we would have, I can't count now, about 12 or 13, Mr. Kyrie, you're there in the middle of that picture, 12 or 13 students earned the Ivy Tech certificate last May. And when I called Dylan into my office to let him know he was going to be one of those kids, he was not originally identified by Ivy Tech as a candidate, and then we learned he was. So I got to call him into our office and explain to him what that meant. It meant he earned a 30 block of credits, which is the equivalent of at least a year's worth of college. And I will never forget, he said to me, you mean I actually can go to college? He was a kid who never thought he could go to college because of finances and family circumstances. And so we got him connected with Stephanie Drudge from Ivy Tech. He enrolled in the ASAP program, which is an accelerated program. He will finish his associate's degree very soon here, so within a year of graduating high school. Last fall, I was notified that he was awarded a chancellor's scholarship and was honored. And we asked him to be here to highlight his path through WSOI and to Ivy Tech, and he had to go to work tonight. But we asked him to record his message, and so that's what we have tonight from Dylan, is an audio message.
Hello, my name is Dylan O'Brien. I am a graduate of Plymouth High School in Plymouth, Indiana. I am currently going to Ivy Tech and getting my associate's degree in 1 year, and I'm going to be going on to IU next year during the fall or summer. Mr. Duff asked me to go ahead and kind of tell my story to the school board, and I would just like to start off by saying I appreciate this opportunity and hope that you guys find it valuable for yourselves or for other students. So I'd like to start off by saying when I was in high school, I didn't really know what to do, and the WSOI program, still being pretty new, didn't really seem like a whole lot. I didn't really do a whole lot of research into it. But I gave it a shot, and it ended up being very useful for me for many reasons. I wasn't a very social person, but getting to know these people for 3 to 4 years was really helpful to me. Brought me up my show, taught me leadership skills, and it helped me speak out in front of others more, during presentations and things like that. But most of it was really just my social skills. Sure, I became a better speaker and, learned maybe a little bit better in a different environment, but Being around others, like me, who are, coming out of their shell, or maybe others who are confident and, thrive in that kind of environment really helped me, grow, and I believe I helped others in a similar manner. But the WSOI in general is really helpful through those relationships that you built with others, but also through, some of the credit opportunities. A lot of the core classes have great dual credit options, and because of that, when I went into IB Tech, I was actually the student in my ASAP group who actually had the most credit. To qualify for full-time requirements for certain scholarships, I actually had to pick up a good majority of my classes just to meet the full-time requirement. Plymouth in general, not even just the WSY class, has great working opportunities, and I believe that that's really what helped me out in IB Tech. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do when I was younger, but IB Tech helped show me some options, such as I'm looking at business management as well as maybe a science degree. I really enjoyed paleontology, and while the WSY or IB Tech hasn't really led me towards that, WSY has shown me career pathways to start taking my learning to the next level. When I'm actually signing up for classes in IU currently, and I am well on my way to being a junior, and I'm only currently 1 year out of high school, but this upcoming fall will only be my second year. And the reason I'm so far ahead is because of Plymouth and Mr. Delvin and Mrs. Selke and their help, with finding these opportunities like the ASAP program, which is having my associates in 1 year and helping me with those dual credit opportunities, and just helping me in general to get through the classes during my time in WSOI. They've been great references for me, and they've been a great help overall, even during my after school years. I appreciate everything that they've done for me, and I'm sure that they're still helping current students, and they'll be helping future students as well. But what I'm trying to say is, a lot of the programs you guys have, not even just WSY, are really helpful towards kids, and especially me. Coming from a low-income home, not having a lot of high hopes for my future, Mrs. Felke and Mr. Delp and the WSY program was a great stepping stone for me to reach my goals. And I have some pretty high goals now, and I believe I'll be able to reach them. I'm still working hard towards them, but a lot of that success has been from their great help. And I appreciate them, and I just want to take this opportunity to let you guys know, the school board, that they have been extremely helpful. The programs you guys have at Plymouth have been extremely helpful, and I believe that if there's any way that you can kind of keep up the work and sort of support kids towards reaching those goals, will be fundamental for a lot of their development into adults. It certainly helps me, and I'm sure it will help others as well. I just want to take this time to thank you guys very much for all your help. And I know, some of you are responsible for where I am now, and they are responsible, Plymouth High School is responsible, IB Tech. All of you have been great leaders for me to help me get where I am, and I just appreciate everything you guys have done. So keep up the good work. You're helping this kid reach his dreams. Thank you.
Great success story that we're really excited about. So we want to thank you for listening to all our students' stories, and we appreciate this continued support. I think Dylan said it very well. And we are open to any questions that anyone may have, and I'm sure Jenny and Christina are as well.
Wow. Where do we begin? Any questions for these? First of all, congratulations. It is fulfilling is the word that comes to mind. To think, years ago, this idea was hatched, and you just never really know, and you just kind of are guided by what you think is best for students. That's kind of what guides our thinking here, at least as long as I've been on board. I'm glad Mr. Tyree is here to hear all this, and probably has a lot of the same feelings that I'm feeling. I can remember, sitting around, this is a big change in terms of what Plymouth High School has been. But we need, and none of us, you guys get all the credit. I'm just telling, I mean, there's a long history here to get us to where we are here today. So thank you for taking this approach this evening to kind of substantiate and a lot of vision that was talked about years ago. So the only question I have is what, come back in 10 years and tell us what all, I mean, the paths that you have are endless, and the foundation that you have is extremely strong. And congratulations to you, to Mrs. Felke, Mr. Dell, for your leadership, for all the teachers and counselors that have been so instrumental to the Knighty family, for the partnership that was created years ago. Again, they were right there and really came up with a lot of the ideas that we're hearing about here this evening. So their commitment to our community and to the students is cannot be understated. I have no questions. I just have pride for this evening, for what I'm hearing and seeing, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions for?
No, I can't stop you. I feel the same. I mean, but I also want to thank the partners that allow the CTE classes to take place, because without that support, our students wouldn't have the opportunities that they have, and it means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, because we have many other students coming that we need to, and we need to be flexible. I know we are, in terms of how the world is changing and what we need to be able to provide. Taking nothing away from the traditional school atmosphere. That's for some, this is for some, and that's really our responsibility, is to have a landscape that people can plug into to make the most of what they want to make the most of. So, again, congratulations. Thank you for the presentation this evening.
Thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome to stay and you're welcome to leave. We have some other business to attend to, but thank you. We will move on to perhaps more mundane issues. Actually, we have the citing case to talk about. Next on our agenda is our consent agenda. Are there any items within the consent agenda that board members would like to have considered separately? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda. Second. Are there any items within the consent agenda you want to speak to, or any questions? I see we have two retirements that have made their way to the agenda. Mrs. Bodner, Mrs. Hershey. Wish them nothing but the best, and congratulate them and thank them for their service to Plymouth Community Schools. Hard to replace. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Go to section 4, our business transactions. 4.1, consider makeup day.
If you recall, we need to make up a day. Part of our practices are to not go over 3 consecutive e-learning days. We had to do 4 days off of school during the flood. So, hold it at the last minute from the agenda last month just to explore and make sure we have fully understood our options. And the best one at this point is to go ahead with the planned makeup day. So it's my recommendation that we modify our current calendar for the 17-18 school year to May 31st, the last student day, and June 1st, the last certified teacher day.
For the recommendations, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Questions? I thought we were going on a Saturday, but that was off a day, so no. All right, got motion and second, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.2, consider transportation revision to the classified conditions of the point.
This isn't the entire classified conditions, just the one little section and one position. Needed to make this adjustment to kind of get back in line with what it was, primarily because the individuals with this summer employment are required to have CDL correct with us. So presented to you this evening.
Heard the explanation, recommendations, or motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.3, consider selections for curriculum content adoption.
We only have a few items for adoption this year, from spearheaded by Mr. Kaufman at PHS. Before you, certainly will entertain any questions, or I'll allow Mr. Kaufman to entertain any questions you may have. Otherwise, those are before you this evening for consideration and approval. It's a quote-unquote miscellaneous year.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to consider these selections. Any questions? Really, we charge $1?
So Mrs. Hallenberg, to her credit, she only needs class sets, and she thinks that she'll be able to use them for quite a while, so we'll try to go off with books.
Just want to make sure it wasn't a typo.
Yep. Great question.
So the culinary arts course,
Yes.
where's that going to be?
So this is the introduction to culinary arts, that, Mrs. Cookie will teach for us. We'll probably plan on offering that in the afternoon. We will use our facilities in our PHS kitchen.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. 4.4, consider proof of publication of contract bids for Lincoln Junior High building project.
Yeah, so we have received construction bids, and so I'd like to invite Derek Anderson from the Stone Corporation up to review the process and see where we are.
Well, thank you guys for the opportunity. I'm glad to be here today with the good news. You guys start to see more of me as the project progresses, so I'll be here pretty much every board meeting, giving you updates and how things have progressed throughout the duration of the project. Starting for us probably about August, July of last year, really getting involved with the partners and the team members of the project. So from that point, we opened bids on last Tuesday, and they came in really well. And that was part of everybody's effort and time put in to make decisions, go through the design process, ensure the quality standards are being met. And when we went out for bid, there's a few things that I think helped create the environment that we saw when we opened it. It's the market. We were able to get markets from Lake County, Indiana, all the way down to Indianapolis, through Plymouth, through South Bend, Mishawaka, Fort Wayne, all the way up into Michigan. So we captured a wide variety of contractors and get competitive bids. Another factor was the documents. The Artco and everybody involved, when those documents hit the street, they're clear documents. Everybody understood what was being asked for. The packages were attractive. We didn't get very many questions during the bid process, which was a testament to what was put out there for everybody to look at. We did get some, but that's common. Some of them were just reading the page on this drawing, But for the most part, they were relatively light questions, and everything worked out good on that end. And then the other side of the market was we're starting to see contractors losing their workloads from the last couple of years. There were some bigger projects out there that they were tied up in. It created a very competitive market. So, guys took a harder look at things, and they were more aggressive with their pricing, and you saw the benefits of it. We try to predict where we think it's gonna be, but it's sometimes it's difficult. You're not quite sure where that gap's gonna be, and fortunately, the timing of this project created an environment where you guys are able to capitalize on it and take advantage. So with that, we're here today to recommend award contracts. We had 13 bid categories and we received a total of 47 bids. So we had 3 or 4 roughly per category. Some had a little more, some had a little less. So with contractors, we had bid category 1 was the general trades. That'd be Gibson Lewis for $10,281,000. Roofing, slate tile roofing, $1,397,218. We Cat 3 masonry, Zielkowski construction, $6,229,400. We Cat 4 metal studs, drywall and ceilings, Rosenmacourt, $924,900. We Cat 5 aluminum windows and glazing, Midwest Glass and Interiors. And just that one right there, we're awarding alternates 1, 2, 6, and 7. So on the base bid, there was another contractor who was low. When we award these alternates, this guy was low by $10. $701,000 package. It's pretty incredible. Bid category 6, flooring, art mosaic and tile, $1,371,450. Bid cat 7, painting, Zielkowski construction, again, $318,330. Bid cat 8, casework, Deco Associates, $730,600. Bid cat 9, food service, C&T Design, $372,987. Bid cat 10, fire protection, Shambaugh & Son, $400,550. Bid cat 11, plumbing, mechanical concepts, $1,718,000. Bid cat 12, mechanical, D.A. Dodd, $4,408,950. Bid cat 13, electrical / technology, Mead and White, $3,679,325 for a grand total of $32,534,300. We're recommending issuing contracts and awarding those procedures.
So thank you, Derek. My recommendation would kind of be twofold, just to encompass the acknowledgement of the publications, demonstrate that we did that the right way, as well as then recommending a list of contractors recommended by the Skillman Corporation as the most responsible bids, and then authorizing the Skillman Corporation to issue a letter of intent subject to financing to those listed contractors.
How many motions do you want? Let's get on the table. You heard the recommendation. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion second. Questions, discussion? Didn't bring it with me. What was our estimate?
I knew you were gonna ask that, 'cause I didn't bring it with me.
Yeah.
About 36.5. A little over. So that will allow us to have the funding that we wanted for renovation. Site extended, or the portion of the building is going to be.
Yeah, there's renovations there, and potentially some other projects that can also be done. Those funds.
And there's familiarity with all these contractors, I presume.
Yes, I've interviewed each one of them, reviewed them, scope. We've worked with every single one that's being recommended. There's no issues with them.
And to help Carol fill out the rest of the art here, so we're going to be able to, these will be awarded subject to financing, and the financing schedule is set up. So we're going to be able to begin and end.
We're going to start mobilizing first week of May. We'll be done by end of March.
So less than a year.
And
might want to be a little more specific.
Yep, March 2020. So that'll give us guys some time to get moved in, familiar with the building, make the transition a lot easier, getting out of the existing building and everything. And then the rest of the phases can be able to start taking off.
Love it when the plan comes together.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to everybody involved. I'm not surprised given the skill sets. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Pretty exciting stuff.
Yes.
Again, lots of months, years in the planning, so here we go. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Go do that.
All right. Got it.
We'll be watching. So 4.6, legislative report. I'm sorry, adopt resolution assigning construction bids.
A technicality, but a necessary one to adopt this resolution. The Multi-School Building Corporation owns the real estate, or will own the real estate on which this will be constructed, and as well as the portion where the existing Lincoln will be renovated. The Building Corporation is going to be the one issuing the bonds. Bond proceeds will be held by the trustee bank, and that's how it will be used to pay the contractors. So as a result, construction contracts will be with the building corporation, so the ones with the money to pay the contractors will receive the bids, will receive the contracts, and we assign those to the building corporation. This resolution reflects us assigning all of that to the building corporation. So it's presented to you tonight for your approval.
I move to adopt the resolution.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Sorry, got ahead of myself.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So start figuring it out. All right, we're ready for a legislative update.
Not much right now. Certainly the session is closed, but there's going to be a special session. So we have our eye on that, as there's going to be some education-related bills still lingering there in,
Is that May 15th? Is that
was in May, yes. I'll call it exactly. We've been following the accountability rules. Those were actually put on hold by the State Board of Education, and so that's kind of a good thing, just to not be rushing through all of that. So as we continue to monitor where that's going to land, in addition to graduation pathways that have passed, along with home requirements. We're certainly staying busy and making sure that what we're doing is in accordance with law, and as you saw tonight, right for kids. And so that's my legislative update.
fair enough? Project update, any more?
Not really. We officially started, but it's a great night for that tonight. We have demoed the Fortress Grand building we purchased. Just going to put a separate entity that we're going to get done and taken care of. And so we're just excited to be where we are and looking forward to moving more specific updates as we can.
Very good. We're still on section 5, superintendent remarks.
Well, we certainly saw tonight a committed group that's committed to our students. I also want to recognize this evening Amy Cordius, our Director of Guidance. She's been coordinating some trainings throughout the district with respect to suicide prevention. It's been something we've been working on for a while, and she's really spearheading that. We had several people trained as trainers, trained in the assist program, and then trained as trainers in Safe Talk. Amy Ted is a trainer as well. We have a small group of those. You saw in our community organized a out of the darkness walk, and Amy was actually trained a lot of those volunteers in Safe Talk as well. So just creating that awareness, creating that expertise in our community is something that I appreciate. She's been taking leadership role, and want to recognize her this evening. Caring, again, it's everywhere in our school system, and we're grateful for that. Highlighting Samantha Ezekiel organized her annual now carnival. Second annual highlight the girls tennis team and their partnership with Freeman and Smashing the Cancer, to just fun events, good community events, and really demonstrates those values that are being instilled in our kids. High expectations. Again, from tonight's presentation, saw that. Great to honor that. Thankful for that. And then also recently we were able to honor our top 5% through their academic excellence banquet annual event, and just continue to be proud of the expectations that we set for ourselves and for our students to prepare them for success after high school. Teamwork. I want to congratulate our Jefferson robotics team. They're doing very well in the elementary team, and they qualified for the world competition in Kentucky here coming up in a few weeks. And so I was at Pizza Hut last night for a fundraiser, and those guys are excited.
Out of the whole world, they get to go to Kentucky.
That's where it is. Yeah. Awesome. So I'll be excited to report on how they do there. By way of integrity, I wanted to know that was not a shot. We're thankful for its proximity. Integrity, I do want to, just as Derek mentioned, to highlight those who have been involved in the process to get ourselves to this point in our building project. Started with the board, with Mr. Tyree, who can be here this evening, and planning from many years ago, and all the way to the actions of the design team, some of whom are here tonight. Mr. Galt has played an integral role, his teachers have as well, in classroom designs. Mr. Shope, Skillman Corp, they had to take off, but they've been great. Brian, wonderful, he has been a part of things as well. Mr. Tyree of getting started. So Ted, Bruce, everybody's contributing in specific ways, and not really seen anything from that work up to this point, but been doing things the right way, and responsible to our community, and just showing some true integrity in that process. So thank you for that. And then by way of enjoyment, I wanted to extend the congratulations and make you aware, and we'll make it a more formalized press release as the timing of this plays out, but found out this week that Mr. Ken Olson has been named the Indiana Association of School Principals District 2 Assistant Principal of the Year. And we know Mr. Olson, and he's done everything, he committed to our kids, and really just goes above and beyond in ways that most people don't see, and shows a true commitment to our kids. So just want to celebrate that and do that. Next meeting, Tuesday, May 1st. Short time already. 7 o'clock start.
Very good. Any questions, Randy? Thank you. Are there any questions from the audience that remains on our agenda items this evening? Thank you again for being here. Seeing or hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.